All right, you guys, a couple of episodes ago, we were going to do a giveaway, and then I completely forgot in the last one. I apologize for that. So we're going back to this episode. I'm going to go to my comment picker because we don't do it ourselves. All right. So we've got 75 unique comments. You guys ready? Here we go. Hey guys, what's up? It's Sean, Autotopia LA. I'm over here at my buddy Steven's SMP FabWorks, and you guys have asked to see more trucks. We've only done one truck on the show. We've never done any of Steven's stuff, and he's a radical hot shit fabricator that builds stuff like this with his crew. So we're gonna do our usual thing, man. We're gonna definitely go for a drive. Steven's pissed because he wants to go get airborne, and we're gonna be driving on the streets today, so we will do a second episode with this thing where you'll see me freaking out getting airborne. But today we're gonna do our usual quick little drive around the neighborhood, and we're gonna definitely get into the details because this thing has so much cool work done to it. So hold on, because here we go, man. All right, you guys, here we go with my buddy Steven Parks, SMP FabWorks. He's my neighbor here at the complex, and Steven's kind of become like a little brother at this point.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
So you know, you guys, you've asked for more trucks, right? And so who better than my buddy Steven to like go shoot one of his cool trucks? So let's get into it, man. What year is this one for start with?
So this is a 2014 Tacoma. Four-wheel drive, 6-cylinder. It's a 4.0 liter.
Right.
Nothing special, not your fancy hot rod cars, you know. But we did add a little bit of power on it. It has a Magnuson supercharger.
Right on.
You know, because you need a little bit of balls out there.
For sure.
And we're adding like a ton of weight to these things, so it's factory motors just don't cut it sometimes.
Right. Yeah. So how much? What kind of power does it make with the supercharger?
It makes 300 horsepower.
Okay.
Which is 60-ish more than it normally
Right.
does. So
Yeah.
even though it doesn't sound like a lot of horsepower, you know, in the dirt, you're just spinning tires half the time anyway. So it's not like how much you put down to the ground, because you're going to be sliding. You know?
Right.
So it's like kind of, you can have 800 horsepower. You're going to go just as fast as someone with 300.
Right.
You know? So it's kind of like, it's cool.
Yeah. So that's it, done to the motor. Just supercharger.
Supercharger. Done. Most important thing with these off-road cars we build is reliability.
Right.
You know, you can't. A lot of guys like to go mess with the motors and get horsepower, but this is a truck that you drive.
Right.
And you go in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And you're going to be beating on it. And the last thing you want to do is have engine problems and failures.
Absolutely.
No service, and you can't get a hold of anybody. So.
Right. Let's start interior.
Yeah, well, as you can see, the roll
Fully
cage.
caged.
Okay, so we have a full roll cage. Just currently we had it all wrapped in leather. It's all insulated under the leather with like Dynomat, you know.
Right.
They use that for the hot rod stuff. I mean, it's good insulation. So it's nice and quiet in here. The AC still works, heater still works. It has all the necessities of like having a factory feel,
right?
You know, and comfortable still.
Yeah.
We have like these aircraft visors we put in here.
These are super cool.
Yeah, and you can see through them still. So like off-roading, you don't want to just straight cut your vision, you know.
Right.
You're just trying to get the glare out. So it's nice to have those. There's a bunch of tin work. We did aluminum work in here to like hide, you know, inner skin panels. We've hidden like the amps and speakers in the back with aluminum paneling. There's still factory storage under it that we made in the back seat, so you can store like jumper cables and tools and like just little things, you know.
Yeah.
The back has like a floor that's like, we call it cheese plate, and it's threaded right all the way around it.
Right.
So we can mount a bucket seat. We can mount. There's an ARB fridge mount back there that you plug right in, so you have a refrigerator. Little cargo boxes just to put things, and we can just bolt and secure it all down because we're jamming, you know, in the dirt, and you're like, shit.
So you can't have stuff loose
you
back
can't just
there.
like set it. It'll end up on your lap or hitting you or something.
Right. Did you make that whole thing yourself?
Yeah. Well, you know, we do it on a computer, and then it gets cut out. There's like, I don't know, 400 holes put in it. We have to thread each one. So, you know, I had the laser cut it, and then we drill the hole and thread it.
And this cage is so cool, even down to having you worked in handles,
you get grab
and
bars,
stuff, but all the leather, you know, so it looks,
it's hand stitched.
Looks cool.
I mean, these guys spent a lot of time on it. It's one of the first cars I've done that like I've actually had some interior.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited because now it's like every car we build, like, dude, you got to interior the car.
Because you can do it.
And it has a little bit of padding on it too. So like, there's about a quarter inch of padding here, so you bang your head on it, like you're not just hitting a tube.
Right.
And really messing yourself
same with even
up.
the headliner.
Exactly. So like I said,
what are these add-on lights?
So these are just little KC lights. They're called cyclones. They're just dome lights.
Yeah.
We have this thing. It's called an S-Pod system, and that it's like a module that basically we wire all the lights to this box, and this box is now connected to this panel. And it basically it's just one little Ethernet cable that runs to the box, so you don't have to wire a lot of stuff, and it controls everything. We have an air compressor on this truck, so we have air compressor. We have work lights all the way around, and all the wheel wells have lights. So if you need to get in there and work on stuff,
wow, dude.
Yeah, we have that. Obviously we have bumper lights for off road, so when we're hauling ass, you can see the dirt and trails. Back lights, dust lights for the rear. If there's people behind you, you don't want them to just nail you in the dust. So we have dust lights, and then we have ARB lockers. So we can lock the front diffs, lock the rear diffs. It's a full drive truck actually.
Right.
So we get stuck or it's just like air compressor and then locked, and you're straight up a hill. So
wow, man.
It has it all.
Wow.
Sure.
And you were saying stereo amps, speakers, and stuff.
Stereo,
so you got a pretty radical system in here, I'm guessing.
We had custom box, some Focal speakers, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
And Focal sub too, and it's like a really shallow one because we didn't have a lot of room in this truck, and we don't want to take up space with like a sub box,
Totally.
But we do want some tunes when you're driving, you get pumped up and cranking it. So no, it sounds really good. Carlos, over by our shop at CW.
Carlos did all that.
He did all the audio stuff.
And what's this here?
This is like just basically a programmer that just gives you more readouts, engine temp, coolant temp. Actually gives you numbers just like hot and cold on the engine,
Right, so you can actually know where you're running.
Yeah, it's nice to have information on these trucks. Like I said, you're out in the middle of nowhere, so if you have trucks running hot and you can immediately know and save it, I mean, that's like any race vehicle.
Totally, dude.
So it's
absolutely.
Nice to have it.
Yeah. Is there anything else on the interior that we're leaving out?
We have these ridiculously badass carbon seats.
This is true. We are sitting in really cool seats, aren't we?
No pre-runner truck really ever has cool carbon seats like this. So that's
they're
pretty
upholstered bitchin', dude. I mean,
and
these are...
we, kind of wanted to match the rest of the leather.
Yeah. These look
it's kind of bougie for an off-road deal, but...
For sure it is.
I mean, when people look in here, it's like, dang. Like, look at this seat, right? All the carbon.
Yeah, it looks like a show truck, but it actually gets driven, huh?
Oh, yeah. I like to see abuse, man. I want to know, do you try to break it? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's got to go out to the desert. And if he ain't going to do it, or whoever, I will.
Yeah.
I'm not spending all this time working on these things and not going to go beat it up.
Right. So exterior, the body, obviously, fenders, quarters, all that stuff. Is that all you?
So most of these products you can buy. The interior stuff was pretty much all custom. Like we made it all.
Right.
Fender flares they make for the truck. We actually had some one-off fenders made for the rear because the truck was so wide they didn't even make it for these trucks yet. So I had to have one-off fenders built for the rear with this company called Advanced Fiberglass, and which was bitching because now I got to pick the flare I wanted because we have a crazy wide axle, not the stock axle. It's a full floater rear end that's like 7 inches wider than factory.
Wow.
So it's huge.
That's massive,
plus
dude.
the bigger width of the tire and the offset of the wheel.
Right.
You're almost 10 inches over. Obviously built bumpers for the truck, front and rear, after pre-runner bumpers, some skid plate. But we went pretty crazy with those things because we actually have a receiver hitch in the front, right? That's kind of hidden in the skid plate. Usually the people that have that, it's just like an eyesore to look at these vehicles. Like you have this huge winch up front and this big bumper and, gas cans here and jacks here and all that stuff to bring along with you to make sure you're able to get out of whatever situation you need to get in. But my idea was, dude, let's make this thing look like a clean street truck and have everything hidden. So we have a winch on board here. We made a spot, a hitch in the front. The winch, we store it in the bed into another receiver and it just holds it, right? And then you just take it out, you plug it in the front bumper. There's a port right there you plug the winch into. You could tow from the front. You could do the same thing from the rear. We spent a lot of time thinking about, okay, how do we have everything but not make it look ridiculous?
Just obnoxious.
Because I like,
stuff
my style. It's always been clean,
no
simple, hidden. Something that like people want to look at and they're like, wow, this thing is sexy. We did front bumpers, rear bumpers, and then crazy long travel suspension. We have triple bypass shocks up front, coilovers up front. hydraulic bump stops so that when you land really hard, it kind of takes all the blow off the rest of the suspension and the chassis.
Yeah. How much travel is in the suspension?
We have 15.5 inches of travel up front. It's a total chaos long travel kit. The rear is leaf springs. We convert it to a spring under the axle, which you get a lot more droop travel out of it at a lower ride height. And then we can actually gain some bump suspension, so basically ride height to like fully bump the truck out upwards. By doing the spring under, you know, we can gain that up travel.
Yeah.
So we got the width, we got the nice ride height. The back's like probably, I think, around 16 inches of travel. And we have like an all billet third member with the, you know, houses all the gears. Air locker in the rear, air locker in the front.
I know you said the rear axle is 7 inches wider.
Yeah.
How about the front?
The front's 3.5 each side.
Wow.
So 7 inches plus tire and rim, you know.
Right.
Which we're obviously going, it's a 35-inch tall tire, 12.5 wides and 17s, beadlock wheels.
Yeah.
You know, so you can air down the thing and not have like tires spinning on the rim.
Yeah.
Because when we go to the dirt, you know, you're airing down. A custom MagnaFlow exhaust, all stainless, TIG welded, that we, you know, made out the routed out the fenders.
I love the side exit out the fenders,
yeah, it's
dude.
bitching.
It's
a lot of
so
people
cool.
dig it. It's nice
That's
and sharp.
So
you know?
rad. Yeah.
Spare battery, another battery in the back, so it's a dual battery system. Like I said, we have an onboard air compressor. We have, you know, I had to put this aftermarket gauge Speedo GPS because we got rid of the factory rear end, so most of the Speedo reads off the factory axle. So now that we don't have that anymore, we're just going straight off GPS.
How about the steps on the side, your running boards?
We don't really call them running boards because running boards are for like old grandpas, right?
Got it. Well, I'm an old grandpa.
You're a good-looking old grandpa.
I'm just an old dude.
So we actually call them rock sliders.
His girlfriend hits on me once in a while, by the way.
Not supposed to know that. We have the rock sliders on this truck that we call them. It's more of like protecting things bashing the bottom of the cab. This is a full drive truck. It's probably going to go wheel a little bit, you know, protecting the bottom of the car if we slam on a rock or whatever.
So that's important. What those are for more than they're not really steps.
Yeah, it's more for protection. I mean, the truck's not high off the ground, you know what I mean? You can get into it pretty easily. So yes, I made a nice dimple-dyed plates and like turned it into a step, so at least it looks cool.
I mean,
it does have some function,
dude.
you know?
It looks, and you made all that, right? That's
so those are one-off custom. The bumpers are custom. Like the rear, you know, the rear bumper is custom. The whole cage is custom. We have like another, if you look out the back windows, you know, you have all those tubes. That all bolts in, is powder coated. That braces basically the whole back of the frame from the rear suspension to the cab. Because right now we're trying to make this whole chassis tie in from front bumper to rear bumper, and then nothing flexes or breaks.
You know, dude, I'm not an off-road guy, so it's a foreign world to me. But one thing I know for sure about it is it beats the piss out of vehicles.
It does.
I mean,
but that's the best part.
Right. You know? That's what you're in it for, right?
That's the best part, yeah. There's nothing better than that. I got this bitchin' little turn brake right here.
Oh, that's what that is.
So I have a whole nother set of calipers in the back just for that.
Really?
So
that's all it does is it grabs the rears.
That's it.
Anything else you can think of that you guys have done?
We've protected all the bottom with skid plates, you know, and that cargo box in the back.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So hidden I forgot about it.
Yeah, right?
You know, you're buying a truck because you want to have a bed, right?
Right.
So we wanted to save that, but we still need to bring a jack if we need to change a tire. We have to bring a tire. We also bring some gas, you know, just in case. And then there's an axe. So basically I cut out a big hole in the bottom of the bed, framed it, tubed it. The whole frame's plated. You know, when we had this thing all apart, we plated it all in, and brace it and made like a drop-in all 1/4-inch plate like cargo area that's watertight sealed, lockable.
Wow, dude.
And it's like 12 inches deep by the whole width of the frame. So we literally have 7 gallons of gas back there, an axe, the jack, like a 3-ton jack, and we have our winch cable kits, all the pulleys and tie downs and, you know, straps to tow from.
It always trips me out, dude, with you know, any of the builders like you guys, where a lot of what you do doesn't get seen.
Yeah, it pretty much
gets
never
covered
does.
up, and some of the coolest stuff you guys do actually is totally hidden away.
It is.
You're what are you, 28?
28, yeah.
And you've had your own business now, you and your dad together, 10 years, huh?
Yeah, almost. We opened business in 2009. Yeah, I mean, I told my dad I'm just not going to college. I'm gonna build cars. I think I have something, you know, and he knew he couldn't stop me, so he's like, all right, well, then I'm going to do it with you.
Yeah.
There's nothing more I like than having a good relationship with my family.
I look forward to seeing where are you at in another 10 years, you know? I mean, what are you going to be building with that much more experience and that much more reputation?
I'm just as excited too. That's...
I can't wait till we get to go for a real drive in this thing, dude.
Me too.
That'll be fun.
For sure.
S. Schumann, you have won. S. Schumann is won. So to claim your Vicious shirt, what I need you to do is shoot me an Instagram message at Autotopia LA, shoot me a DM, and give me your shirt size, and I'll get a shirt out to you right away. Congratulations to you, and I promise you guys we're going to have a lot more giveaways. We have so much cool stuff to constantly be giving away over here. So congratulations, man. Stoked for you. All right, you guys. Well, that's it for this radical, badass Tacoma. This thing's really built to go pound off-road, which we will do in a future episode. Steven has made me a promise that we're going to figure this out and get out there and beat on it a bit. But I thought it'd be fun to show you guys something completely different for us, show you a truck. You guys have asked for more trucks. A number I didn't throw out at you while we were talking about all the details of the build. This truck's got over 150 grand invested in it. That's not including the original purchase price of somewhere around about $30,000. So it's a substantial build, a lot of hand fabrication. I highly recommend, if you guys are into off-road and radical FabWorks stuff, go look up Steven and his company SMP FabWorks, because he's really one to keep an eye on. He's building some radical stuff. So that's it for today's episode. As always, man, thanks for hanging and watching the channel, supporting what we're up to here. I truly appreciate it, and I will see you in the next episode. All right, man. Later.